So we are back with week 3 of my reflection slash preparation for the standards check. Another busy week. I have managed some reflection and I've managed to keep track of what I think's going on in the lessons. I've also spoke to a couple of ADIs and PDIs to sit in on my lessons and observe. So that's going to be happening hopefully through February. That's something that I think is going to be important preparing for my standards check, is being used to watching, and hopefully as well I can try and get in and watch some driving lessons either with local ADIs or people that aren't too far away. And I found in preparation for my part 3 that was a massive benefit. So that's something I'm going to be looking to do. As for my reflection, I've not managed to reflect after every lesson. It's just not been part of my routine at the minute. I guess I'm conscious of it now. It's making the time for it. I'd say probably just over 50% of my lessons I've reflected on kind of specifically. And I'm finding that form with all the competencies kind of helping me a little bit, because it breaks the lesson down into quite a lot of different sections so I can identify where I'm falling short. And then when I kind of put those together, you can see whether it was the plan that was wrong, whether it was I was missing something that the student was doing, so I wasn't watching the student. So I'm starting to see in the lessons where it links and what areas I can improve to minimize that happening in future lessons. What I've also noticed is, I guess, the way I'm delivering lessons and the ones that I'm struggling with, where I'm coming up with more points that I need to improve than the lessons I think, okay, that one went okay, I could tweak this, I could tweak that. And what I've started to notice is the lessons where either the student or me think they can be doing a little more than maybe what they are. So I guess we're pushing the lesson a little bit, and that's creating a few more issues. Whereas the students that are happy to practice and not wanting to push themselves, that seems to be where I'm not making the same mistakes or falling short in the same areas. So it does make a bit of a difference at the minute, and that's something that I'm definitely going to be conscious of. And I think that's being specific with what skill we're working on at that moment in time in the lesson, getting that done, and then maybe moving on to something else rather than trying to link 2-3 things together at once. So that's made a difference. And the main points that are standing out from my reflection this week, so again, it's come back to watching the student, and not just looking at the student, but watching what they're doing, when they're doing it. An example that's standing out at the minute from this week was one of my students changing the gear and occasionally being too hard on the gear stick. This is a student that is fairly competent as a driver, but has been away for a number of weeks and has come back a little bit rusty. So watching the student, but watching what they're doing, how they're interacting with the situations ahead. So watching them and being aware of what's coming up on the road is still something that I'm really conscious of, and it is making a bit of a difference in the lessons. And then the next one is the questioning and the conversation in the car. So I need to be asking a little more, but also more regularly. I can sometimes find that we're driving maybe a bit longer than we should be without having a conversation on what their thoughts are with what they're doing. So asking more, engaging in conversation more, talking to the students more rather than the driving is where, and then I'm noticing, and the next point that I've picked up is adapting earlier. If I was stopping more, finding out what's going on, I'd be adapting the lesson a little bit earlier, because that's my next point. I'm adapting and I'm seeing when and what we need to change, but I think that can happen a little bit earlier. So that's definitely something that I'm going to be conscious of. So to kind of summarize what I've picked up this week, I need to be watching the student a little bit more. We need to be engaging in conversations more often. And I need to be prepared to adapt, or in a position to adapt earlier, whether that's to get ahead of a fault, fix a fault, or whether that's to maybe increase the challenge on the lesson. So adapting upwards or downwards, either way. So yeah, that's how this week has gone. More reflection, more points to work on, definitely a structure going into next week. I have no idea how next week is going to go. I'm on a course with Knowledgeable Instructor Training. Someone's just put, I've got a beautiful beard. Thank you. I'm on a course on Tuesday with Knowledgeable Instructor Training. So I've got a road trip there. That's going to be a long old drive and a long day. So I'm playing catch up on Monday and Wednesday with my lessons. I don't think I've got any Zoom sessions. So I'm hoping next Friday I'll be back here and I will have some more points that I've picked up from what I'm focusing on and more goals going forward into the week after. So that's my plan. Do some learning next week, watch the student more, stop more often if it's relevant, have the conversations and come up with a new plan and be more specific with what we're about to go and work on and see how that goes. But it's been a fun week, keeping busy, content's been filmed, episodes ready to go out this Sunday, so make sure you tune in and don't miss that. But yeah, as always, if you reach out on either the comment section here or over on Facebook, feel free to drop me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. With the reflective logs, I'm going to be making a change to one of them. They have been updated into uploaded into the Facebook group, but they're going to be getting changed this week at some point. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I definitely need to change it slightly and it'll keep coming with that structure. At the minute, I'm not quite where I want to be with my reflection and my goals and my planning for the standards check, basically. So that's where I'm at. Slowly getting there, getting the structure together, becoming more confident, but also questioning whether it was a good idea with everything that I've got going on, whether I should be doing a standards check. But it's definitely improving me as an instructor now, getting ready for it. So whatever happens, it's going to be a good process, lots of learning, and yeah, we'll go from there, I guess. So I will catch you all for the next episode that will go out Sunday night.